Morning, everyone. I'm not sure how well this will come through. I'm coming to you from satellite internet, but that's okay. We'll see how well this downloads, and we'll put it on Telegram afterwards. For all those who are not on Telegram yet, make sure you get a Telegram app and you join yourself to the Horus Media Telegram channels, the secure Marden Refinery Telegram channels, and you spread it out there as far as you can get. What I'm going to start with, first and foremost, is I'm going to start with the event we're having this weekend, a bit of Dewey instead of some hooey. So on Saturday at 10 a.m. outside the Whangarei District Court, that's going to be the site where we get rid of mask mandates on the 7th of June. Make sure you're around Whangarei for that. We're going to be having a march through town. Now, the police, of course, are going to have to get an emergency TMP because we're expecting thousands of people to come. Why are we expecting thousands of people to come to this march at 10 a.m., so starting at 10 a.m. from the Whangarei District Court going through Whangarei? Well, because saving the oil refinery is actually kind of important. There's a lot of people out there that say it's too late. None of them are the operators, of course. They're all people that have assumptions. There are people out there who say that, well, we import crude anyway. Why can't we just import refined fuel? That's a good question too. The answer to that question is there's a hell of a lot more crude oil sources around there, and our refinery is in the top quarter of the world for refineries, so we should probably be heading towards self-sufficiency. And if there's more locations for crude oil than there is for refineries, then it just makes common sense to make sure that you're making your own refined fuel here, especially if you can make really good refined fuel and, refined fuel that's not as dirty as the stuff that we're getting in now. It also makes bitumen, having a few problems with imported bitumen. Maybe you should look into Transmission Gully. So, right, we're having a march, and I'm going to explain how this march works. It's a march/convoy. So we're going to be having a lot of vehicles coming through on a route that has been broadcasted out to everybody around there. The front half of the convoy is going to come through, and it's going to come to a stop, and it's going to leave a nice little location for pedestrians to jump into in the middle. Then we're going to continue through on a circuit through Whangarei, as fast as the pedestrians walk. They'll be protected at the front by convoy, and they'll be protected by the back by convoy. And we're going to have a lot of individuals that have come from our rear base camp who have had some meetings about this and how it's going to work. They're going to be heading this up. Now, if you're a farmer, if you're in Voices for Freedom, or if you're in any sort of movement that's against crippling the country and making it dependent on China, then you're probably going to want to be a part of this, and that's why we say thousands. So that's happening at 10 a.m. this Saturday outside the Whangarei District Court and ending at Putahi Park. Right now I'm going to quickly move on to things that were said by other people that should be supporting, well, the refinery. We've had some people say some things, and people say some things, especially when they're really negative. Now, these same negative individuals, they don't like negativity. They're a walking contradiction. But hey, that's what they do. So they'll say right about now on this video, oh, you're being all negative, you're going out, so you're not being positive anymore. No, not really. I'm just addressing issues, because if you don't address issues, you can't come up with solutions. Hi, Darren. How you going? Here we go, attacking people. Oh, look at you, you little tissue flake. Getting all upset over things. True to form, yes, because that's who I am. I'm happy with who I am. I'm not like you. I'm not going to go and try and change other people into similar versions of myself with masks taped to my face and all that sort of stuff. I am quite happy with who I am, by the way. I am going to form some resistance against people who try and change people to being something different than what they are. I will call people out. I will say what I think is true. And if it's proven to be not true, I will apologize afterwards. I've always been rather happy who I am, and sometimes I peeve people off. That's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, come and have a conversation with me. Don't be afraid. Don't just blast it all out on social media like a coward. Come and have a conversation with me. You don't make yourself any better if you're one of those individuals that just shares crap out there all the time. So, we've got Chantal Baker. She's saying some things about the Marsden Point Oil Refinery. Hey, maybe some of them are fair, but maybe some of them are not. We had quite a robust conversation with Chantal Baker before this all started, and that was all good. That was all fine. We didn't actually require her to support the digging at Marsden. We understood that the digging at Marsden and what we were trying to achieve may have been a little bit more complicated for her comprehension. It is complicated. Express trusts and unincorporated trusts, why we do those sort of things, how they work, the constitutions that are involved in them, how that's going to protect the refinery for our future. That's a complicated conversation that needs to be had around the table. And so we didn't really go into any great depth around that because she needed to be, well, around the table. And so our request was rather simple, and it wasn't just my request, it wasn't just the digging at Marsden's request, it was Hutch, it was Lingo Louie, it was a whole heap of people that wanted her to basically talk about the refinery issue because that's the issue that's pertinent right now. Regardless of your opinion on it, whether you think it should shut or whether you think it should be open, the conversation that people should be having right now is not the social credit system, although that's an important conversation to be had. But right now, food shortages, fuel hikes, fuel crisis, war is the thing that's being talked about by the media right now. And so you need to address that by addressing issues that may make our situation even worse. Right? Nobody's denying that a social credit system is a bad thing. But what we're saying is that the refinery is being taken apart right now. We're seeing trucking contractors being reached out to by Channel Infrastructure, about 251 of them. They're going to try and rush the exchanges out of there, scrap them, and then start trying to sell the catalyst to China so they can refine our crude oil with their catalyst and send it back to us at a higher price. I think that's the most pertinent issue right now. And so a multitude of, well, I gave her one individual to start with who was an excellent individual to talk to. He didn't want to be videoed publicly for obvious reasons. But now we have 10 to 20 individuals who have worked in the refinery who are more than happy to chat to Chantal Baker, Liz Gunn, and all of that. That's it, really. Has she said anything on it other than basically cast aspersions with negative things about the digging at Marsden or questions about the digging at Marsden of which she's things that she wants to see, of which she hasn't put herself in a position to see? We're not going to go and send all the spreadsheets over the digital platforms to Chantal Baker. Come on now. If you want to go and see everything, you can come to the digging at Marsden and we can have a sit down around a table off-site and where we show all the paperwork. We don't have any problem with that, right? The donations sit in an account. We're setting up an express trust. We're trying to find a better bank that won't shut it down if we start making headway. All of that stuff could be discussed around the table. But we're not just going to go and show it to any Tom, Dick and Harry. We talked about a possible action plan at the camp, and all of a sudden, Methaloo Phil knew what the plan was. And so we binned that plan because we have people coming in and sitting on meetings that aren't for the kaupapa. There's a whole bunch of minefields that you have to look out for when you're engaging in trying to defend the public from psychological warfare. It's a whole lot of stuff that you have to think about. But what's most important is that we need individuals who are media or influencers to talk about the pertinent issues when they're pertinent, not jumping off onto another step and missing a really important step. And I'm not going to mince words with this. I'm going to be rather direct. I'm not going to try and say things in a way that's politically correct. If you haven't realized by now that that's part of the problem, well, then you haven't identified a problem before you've gone off trying to address other problems. I'm not ever going to be politically correct. That's part of the reason why we're in this problem right now. Politicians are trying to avoid offending people, and it gets to the point where they've gotten so terrible at it that all they do is lie now. They can't admit an issue because all they want is positivities, fairies, and fairy dust around them when it's likely not true. Okay? Like, I don't go around and get myself all perfected for my live videos. It's not important. What's important is the issue, not how perfect I look. I know I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near it. But that's fine, so long as I'm making sure that I'm comparing myself to who I am yesterday and getting better every single day. A couple of years ago, this would be an issue that I'm screaming and ranting about. Not anymore. And I'm hoping that everybody else does the same thing. The point here isn't to stand up a whole bunch of people that look perfect to be the replacement leaders for the idiots that we've had in there for so many years. The point is to help empower people to be the leaders themselves. And if you can't get that, then get off the comment threads. I don't care. Your opinions aren't valid. So, on Saturday, we're going to do a whole lot of doing. And we want people who are keen to do a lot of doing, because I'm really sick of being just sitting here waiting for somebody to F me and all my mates up the bum. I'm not going to do it anymore. And I'm not going to recommend that other people do it. I'm not going to recommend that people put faith in politicians. I'm not going to recommend that people put faith in business leaders. I'm going to recommend that you put faith in yourself. That's all. So, just like the sign out that I do every single time, keep thinking for yourselves. See you at Saturday, 10 a.m. outside the District Court. Ka kite.
What we've got to do is challenge Mobile and Mobile, BP and Z. We've got to challenge them, and I put this challenge out to the public in New Zealand. If you're living all across New Zealand and you'd like to be here helping us, this is the way you can help us. You drive your vehicle, whatever it is, tractor, truck, car, boat, onto the forecourt of those 3 service stations, unless it's a small business that's running under those names, family business. So if it's one of the big corporates, you drive on their forecourt, you stop your vehicle and put $5 of fuel in your vehicle. Only $5. You might want to fill your tank up, but you put $5 in. Go inside, go to the toilet. Take 5 or 10 minutes to go to the toilet. Buy a pie or a coffee or both. $5, $10. Sit there for 5 or 10 minutes to eat them. You're allowed to, you bought them. So you waste 20 minutes or half an hour, you spend $5, maybe $10, maybe $15.
And block the pump.
And then go away, slowly go away, and you go and do that to the other 2 fuel companies. And you've spent $15. Then go and find one of the other smaller ones, that family business or something, and then fill your tank up.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me and you want to put $130 in, you spend all day putting $5 every time. You spend all day. It might take you 12 hours to do it, but Jesus, it would send a message. And if we do that for a day, a week, a month, imagine what those bloody big boys are going to say. Jesus, we're not making much money today. We're selling pies and coffee, but we're not selling any gas.
Hey.
Eh?
Boom.
As you guys can see, we do have our supporters here, but we need more people. Always need more people. Some people heeded the call. We got a really big one right here. Boom. Trying to get the word out. Day 2. Join us.
Kia ora everyone. This is a very important live, and I'm going to encourage everybody to share this wherever they can, whether it be through Messenger or just on your pages. We know that we're struggling with some form of censorship that we don't quite understand. Our people down at the refinery, we call it Spearhead, have just witnessed 2 trucks leaving the refinery. They're 2 container trucks. They seem to be working with Toll, or it's Toll, the company that's being contracted to potentially take things out of the refinery. And we've contacted some of the ex-operators. They think that they would be likely moving the most expensive stuff out of it. As we know, the channel infrastructure, the management of channel infrastructure, are trying to get rid of its refining capabilities ASAP. And looks like they're doing that right now. This is why we've really wanted more people to get up here. We haven't been able to do anything to stop this infrastructure leaving, this infrastructure that we pay for. We paid for it, our parents paid for it, our grandparents paid for it. The operators are saying that it's likely the catalyst. The catalyst will be in bags, it'll be in a container. We've spoken to one of the truck drivers. The truck is being followed. It's heading to Auckland, likely heading to a port, likely heading to China. So we need help. If you're on the state highway, the main state highways, we need help finding truck 1. We believe truck 2 is being followed and it's heading to Auckland. The license, what we managed to get on the license plate, because the license plate's partially covered by a hazardous warning, NZF79. We're not sure what the last number is. But hey, we've got to do what we can. We've got to do what we can to stop a vital strategic asset, and parts of a strategic asset leaving offshore at a time like this. I don't care what your opinion is. This country needs a refinery, and it needs a refinery now more than ever. So if you can, we need people out on the side of the roads trying to see where these trucks are heading. And you know, if you haven't got Telegram yet, if you're not following Horace Media, you're not following the secure Marsden Refinery channel, get on there now. Share this out everywhere. We need to do something. Otherwise, we'll be remembered for doing nothing. And I don't want to be one of those people, do you? Keep thinking for yourselves. Ka kite anō.
Visitor from Earth entered my world.